Welcome to the
Don't Cancel Us podcast.
We got that down now. I
Even
really
like the
feel
pitch we're at. We're coming.
I'm here for it.
Give me Sopranos.
I know. Before we give him too much and we introduce ourselves, we want our listeners to know, and our viewers if you're watching on YouTube, that even though we've been friends for a long time, sometimes we have to make space for relationships.
Hello.
So this episode, we're talking about if we feel safe with men. Oh my God.
Wow.
I'm Yasmine Bedward, one of your hosts, also known as the traveling social media manager. Y'all know I live my life very freely, hopping from country to country while I work remotely. I'm joined by my beautiful co-hosts, Chari and Rachel. Introduce yourselves, ladies.
What's up, guys? My name is Chari Caston. I am your mindful travel coach. I am in school getting my master's in social work as well as a travel agent. So you put those together and you get a mindful travel coach.
Lovely. I am Rachel. I work as an interior designer here based in Atlanta. I also really have a strong passion for creating safe spaces for women of color to debunk, taboo topics within our communities. All right. So to get us started, I think this conversation is going to go really well, and I'm excited for our listeners to get to know us on a really, really deep level. The topic is, do men make you feel safe? Okay. So before we get into what we've dealt with as young adults, I want to dig deep a little bit into what your childhood and how you see men how men has shown up in your life as a child.
Ooh, okay.
All right. So I will start.
Thank you.
Because I know I sprung that on y'all. But I was raised in a 2-parent household and still am because I'm in a house. But I am blessed to still have my mom and dad around, and they have been married for I don't know how many years because I don't really, maybe since 94. Dad took care of the house. Mom took care of the children because they have 4 girls. That's the dynamic I grew up seeing. And that wraps up my childhood. I was raised with love from knowing I was loved, but not so much full affection, not so much hugs, not so much I love yous.
Is that because of your culture or is that just like...
As some of you know, I am Ghanaian, West African. So it is, if you out there, hello. It's not traditional for us to have these very American family styles that, you're used to seeing on TV where when you're heading out, I love you, and, whatever.
Okay.
Like what you see on TV, that's not it. Mm-hmm. I just wasn't used to that, and I didn't even know it existed really as a young child.
Oh, you didn't know what you was missing?
Yeah, exactly. I didn't. And so I'm gonna pass it over to you, Chari or Yaz.
I got the mic.
Catch it.
I saw you catch it.
Tell me a little bit about your childhood and what men in your life look like.
Okay, so I have a complex story. So my mom and dad, they're both Jamaican, but my dad is Chinese and Jamaican. There was like a migration in a sense where they took some Chinese people, dropped them off. The people, the colonizers, they took some Chinese indentured servants, slaves, dropped them in Jamaica to have farming land to make sugarcane and everything. And so you have a whole bunch of Chinese people in Jamaica. My dad was a product of that. So my grandparents are Chinese and white, and my dad was born in Jamaica, but he's Chinese. And my mom is pure Jamaican. My mom and dad met in New York, and my mom had 2 kids before she met my dad. And my mom was a teen mom. So that kind of plays an effect on like how I see men, how I see family, how I see how she handled it. And then my dad had a wife already and he had 7 girls, which are my sisters, from his previous marriage. when my dad passed away when I was 2, my mom, this is a story that was kind of told to me because I was very young. She took in my sisters, in a sense, like created a space for them to come in. Now, a lot of them were older. A lot of them went on their own way. A lot of them stayed with their mom. But from what I understand is I saw my technically half sisters come together in a home with my mom. And to me, I view them as my whole sisters. Exactly. So once my dad passed away, I kind of feel like that's all I know. If that's all that's been told to me is that your dad passed away, he was a good man, and then I just see my mom showing up every day being that strong woman. Similarly to Rachel, is like I didn't know what I was missing until I started to like reflect and see things on TV or see my friends who would make a Father's Day card, and the teachers knew my sisters, so they would make me like, hey, Chari, you can make a Mother's Day card for your mom. Like I don't know if you guys ever noticed when teachers be knowing the juice, and so they like don't make it a big deal for the kids who maybe have 2 dads or who've been adopted.
Right, and they give you that option.
Right. So it's that I was that child when Father's Day came around. I was the one that was like, you can make something for your mom. It's okay. So that's kind of like the platform of where I'm eating from right now. So I'm going to toss it over to Yazzie because once you tell a little bit about your foundation, I think people can kind of feed off of that and understand where we're coming from.
They're all so different.
Very.
Aren't they? Because my parents weren't ever together, but my parents lived on 2 different continents and they shared custody. So I spent my life being raised between England and America because I spent holidays with my dad or summers or whatever. So I kind of went back and forth, and I think that made me just feel like men aren't like that consistent, or they aren't like present all the time. Even though my family is super affectionate, like we say we like I love you, or we hug and kiss each other goodnight, or my dad is very cuddly. My mom's getting there. And we just, we love on each other, but it's so distant. And maybe that's why we do it, because we don't
because you don't get the luxury of doing it
all
often.
the time. So it's like when we see each other, we really kind of, it's intense. So yeah, that's kind of my dynamic and my upbringing.
Okay.
All right. So with the topic being us feeling safe around men, obviously I felt, and I think in past conversations have picked up that my laissez-faire ways around men, whether I know them or not, is very different. I can meet a man, and y'all just don't go crazy judging me. I lived in New York, worked in Williamsburg, and I would meet guys and not say immediately, but after a couple of hours of like us conversing and all that, I would be comfortable with them driving me home. Right. And I remember working at the time as, a teacher, and would tell my mates, and they were like, oh, like it was red flag, like, what are you doing? This could happen to you, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, no. And if something was to go down, like I knew what to do. At least I thought I did. Okay. You never know.
Yeah.
I have an idea and a plan in my head, but I always just felt so comfortable around men. And I think it's important to talk about how men show up now as adults in our lives. Chari is married with a husband.
Oh my gosh, I'm like so intensely like, what is she about to say?
Chari's married
a husband.
Chari's married a husband, but for us single folk in the group, Yasmine, or even for you, Chari, when you're in spaces where you're with a man and the door gets closed, or you're in an alley that's random for Georgia. But you know,
cul-de-sac.
Yeah, sometimes you're having a conversation, or you're hanging out with someone, or you met a guy at a bar and you decide to go back to his place. I read this online, and and you randomly just have this thought like, oh my God, what if he takes advantage of me in this moment? What am I gonna do?
Yeah.
have you been in these situations? One, and two, why do we have such a fear against men in that when these things are happening around us, the door being closed, just having these random thoughts of I could be taken advantage of. I mean, I know we've seen things online, and there are crazy people out here, but I really want to. I know how I feel around men, but I'm curious to know why certain people have that inclination of, oh my God, the door is closed, something could happen to me, or I already feel under attack because the door got shut. You know what I mean?
I think women specifically have that feeling of fear around a door being shut behind them and them being in a room with the men. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Or just in a space that becomes private out of nowhere because you don't see anybody else in your surrounding space.
I think women have that fear because statistically men have done terrible, awful, unimaginable things when doors become locked. And I really work hard not to let things that didn't happen to me be a fear that I have, because
say that again. You work really hard on not letting
things that didn't happen to me be a fear that I have.
Oh, that's
yeah, because I think you hear so much about what has happened to women that it makes you feel like it's like an expected thing. Like, okay, when at some point this terrible thing is going to happen to me. And so is it this time or this time? So I think that's where that fear comes from, because statistically, I know without even asking you guys how closely connected we are to people in our lives who have been violated by men. And I think that's where the fear comes from. We didn't make that up.
Right.
And I know it's hashtag not all men. And I do want to hold space for men out there.
The one who are intentional.
We are in a room of men right now, and we feel safe.
The doors are closed. We're
locked.
Drinking.
You know what I'm saying? They have done
Cheers.
nothing but salute. Hello. Cheers. They've done nothing but take good care of us. And Chari's husband is another one. You guys saw when he was on our podcast in season 1, he talked about how important it was to know like our location and how we're doing, and not just out of like, I just want to bug you and just know where you are. It's kind of like I'm
protecting.
I want to keep you safe and protected. And so I think even though my dad didn't do a good job at what I expect from a man, I cannot hold that against all men.
Yeah.
And I'm learning as I get older that it's not even fair to them, because men go through so much and my heart's hurt for them, because we're a podcast and a friendship of women, and I don't know many men who have this dynamic. Yeah. And even with talking of, about their feelings or just being vulnerable and open, I know that that's hard for them. And then on top of that, they're Black men in America most of the time. And that is just an act of violence in itself in this country. And so they're carrying so much, and to be so aware of themselves and their Blackness and their women and their sisters, it's just like, I understand that it can be a lot. So I do want to hold space for men who just need to be held. For everyone. Because I know it's a lot. But I think the fear that we have and the defense that they have, where we have to work on kind of healing that, I think across the spectrum.
You said a lot.
Yeah, sorry.
You said
things though.
a lot of good things. Like, historic trauma you mentioned of just like being a Black male, and also you mentioned you being intentional about not holding that against them, and recognizing that you do have your own biases. And you didn't make this up, and you might have somebody in your family that has been violated. And I think that is a good point. And just like I said, I have 11 sisters, and statistically, what is it, 1 in 4? Right? 1 in 4 women have.
We'll have to Google that.
I think it might be 1 in 4. It might be even 1 in 3 at this point have been violated. So you take that statistic, and I have 11 sisters. So
a few of y'all.
Yeah, and I'm not. Yeah, so I'm the type of person, as I mentioned before, is I don't have to live through an experience for me to be like, okay, I don't want to do that. But I am going to be more intentional about like, I'm not going to hold it against them. I'm just going to be aware. I'm going to be aware when the door is closed. Like I said on another podcast episode, when I take in male clients, sometimes if I can feel them undressing me with their eyes. And that also can feel like uncomfortable because I'm showing up professional.
Yeah.
And so I have to check my biases at the door. Like, hey, is that a truth or is that a feeling? All the time I'm asking myself, is that a truth? 1 in 5. It's 1 in 5 women. I produce
Shout out to the producer.
Yes, it's 1 in 5 women.
So
yes, it's important for all of us to check our biases at the door, but it is hard. It's mad hard for me, especially because I don't even have I have an uncle and uncles from my dad's side, but they didn't show up for me. They didn't show me what it's like to be a husband or an uncle or a black man or an Asian man. Like, it wasn't shown to me. So what I'm getting is fairy tale. I remember one specific time I was talking to my husband, who was my boyfriend at the time, and I was like, bro, you need to be buying my food. You need to open the door for me. And he's like, what book are you reading?
Oof.
Who wrote that? When you find that out, send that to me. And I'm like, oops. Dang, I'm really creating this expectation for my husband to look like something that I never received. And that he's not giving me at the age of 17. What was I doing at 17? Asking this man to buy me food.
You need to be paid for school lunch.
Yeah,
Inappropriate.
go ahead.
At the cafeteria.
Yeah, so I got to check that at the door, and I want my daughter to do the same.
Yeah.
That is, for me, I sometimes as I get older, I'm like, have I been too lax around men? I don't have any personal experiences. Actually, I'm lying. I've had things happen where I was young and I had to ask myself, did they mean to do this to me, or like, is this wrong completely?
Right. With questioning.
Yeah, this was not my dad. It was just another male who was frequent to the house. And it was just, this is weird. Okay, I don't know if that was supposed to happen or not, you know, with an encounter. But as an adult, I've just always felt more free around men. With all my friends, like within my friends, I felt more free and just felt like I am willing to do more things around men that I've just met. All safe things, but sometimes people are just like, who is that? Like, can we, you know what I mean? And I'm like, come on, join us, you know? And I've been told like I need to be a bit more aware of this energy I'm putting out, or, you know, not attracting the wrong thing and the wrong person towards me.
That reminds me of a conversation, but I think it's going to tangent, so go ahead.
Okay. And so
Love a tangent.
like Yasmine and you mentioned, I think it's important that they feel safe and feel okay in spaces and don't feel like, oh, if I shut the door, this prompts this in their mind or this or that. But because our viewers are probably more women, I think it's important to kind of maybe mention a few things to maybe watch out for.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, or be intentional about when you're in a space of men, how to kind of navigate that so you feel safer. So I would say, I think the biggest thing for me is, one, my locations being turned on and my friends knowing where the hell I'm at. And then always just kind of saying like, yo, you see this person, I see this person, or like something to kind of, if I don't make it home and you don't get a text message by this time, you know, this check in.
Right.
You know?
And is it a gender thing, right? Or is it just sharing space with a stranger? For you.
For me, I would say it's a gender thing because I ain't going home with a woman.
Hold on. Is
sorry.
it a sex thing?
Okay.
Or because gender is fluid. So
it is, but for me, that's why I was like, sexting meaning they're going to try and do something to
I
me
guess
sexually.
The conversation gets a little
platonic, or is it romantic? Is that what you mean?
I think in most spaces for me, it's romantic.
Like, is it because they are assigned male at birth that you feel I gotta go there? You feel threatened, or is it because not that you feel threatened, but people perceive that you should feel threatened, or is it because they're a stranger? You should watch your back.
Both
for you.
Both. Yeah. Yeah.
Because it exists. It exists.
Right.
Do you have the same intensity for a female and a male? Both of them strangers. Both of them are.
I mean, like for me, it's male, assigned, or I don't know. So it's male and stranger.
Okay.
Both things where I like to, give a heads up, like, hey, I'm leaving with this person, or they're dropping me off at home, or whatever. Like, tap in. I'll let you know how things are going.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you have any tactical things that you do, Yasmine?
I think we've spoken about intuition on a previous episode, and I hate to be the spiritual woo-woo girly, but you usually know. Like, you can feel it intuitively, and if you can't, I understand, and I would just, the basics, let your friends know where you are type of thing. If you feel like you are actually in danger, you can order your drinks at a certain way at bars and restaurants.
Oh, yes.
To signal that you need
Or even
help.
the bathrooms. Sometimes you'll have the little notes in the bathroom.
I don't know if we're saying too much, but yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yes, exactly. So we have, as women, our sisterhood or assigned at birth, we have some things in place that I think could kind of help. But I'm trying to think about like the person who goes to the bar who doesn't have, they don't have a friend who knows where they are, or they don't want their friend to know that they back with that person they know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't really know how to. I don't have tips for that person. But I would just say try to use your intuition if you can. Try to stay aware and alert. Do not walk away from your drink. If you walk away from your drink, order a new one.
Mm-hmm.
Try to get to the spot early if you can. These are things that I do. I get to the spot early when I can, meet the bartender or someone that works at the restaurant just to say, hey, girl, is he weird?
I'm doing right. Have you seen this person before?
Okay.
Hello.
I try to do little things like that. I also try to get pictures with them soon. They think it's because I'm like trying to be cute, but it's like you are in the group chat already, and your license plate and your phone number.
Hello.
Your last name.
It's in the family group chat, the friends
All
group
of them.
chat, the Facebook group chat,
I'm
and
sending
even
out
her
an Amber
Instagram
alert
subscribers.
via iPhone. Yeah, that's me on a day.
That's actually pretty tactful, like to remember to take a photo, to share, the license. And another thing too, I've heard mentioning being in a physical place is not sitting like have your back towards the door.
Yeah.
I have a friend who is very good at directions, and she's just like, anytime I'm going somewhere new or with somebody, I need to know how to get home without my technology. I need to know left turn, right turn, like being very intentional. If I close my eyes, I know exactly where I'm at. And
That sounds like some Jason Bourne shit. I don't know.
Yeah, but it don't just.
If I'm in a trunk, you know how what is it taken when they tied them up? They had them in, and they're like, yes, because we went 7. I can't do that.
Yeah, especially when you're under intensity.
Yes.
But this is with the assumption that something does happen. But I guess the overall thing is what we're saying is awareness. But the main thing of what you're bringing up from the beginning of the conversation is kind of let your guard down. Don't assume that it's going to happen to you because you heard about it.
Assume. And I also hate that we have these things in place,
right?
But we have them in place for a reason. A rule is in place because someone did something they shouldn't have done.
Mm-hmm.
So it's annoying that we have all these secret codes and all these things, and like everybody has to know where I'm at all times. I'm just going to get a coffee because you might be weird. I hate that we have to do these things and like order a new drink and don't leave your drink unattended and like it's a lot to be cognizant of, including like looking good and not trying to fall and like
and we had the conversation of being conscious of what you have on, because how that can create a conversation or just like making them feel like you are flirting with them because of your outfit.
Yes.
And we some of us in the group think differently. But
can we just talk about that? Because we got into a whole debate at the bar about this and how you show up for a date means a man wants to do X, Y, or Z to you. And do we want to take our
here,
there, or is it too much?
we're here. We're here. We can do it in 5 minutes. Just give a little teaser.
Basically, we were out with friends at a bar, and they wore something a little bit more risque, and they were
a lot more risque,
more cleavage,
more,
super. It was
right. They
on
looked
a platter.
I would say they had on a sexy outfit,
right?
I would say, and so they were saying they wouldn't wear that on a date because that would mean that they would be like easy to have sex with or whatever. And I was saying that an outfit is an outfit. I don't think men feel that particular about whether you show up looking very sexy or very conservative or reserved. And so we started asking random men at the bar what they thought of this theory.
Yeah.
and most of the guys said it didn't matter.
But preface the
guy said.
But one, I feel like with 4 women at the table
the
and
climate
us
was hot.
asking the question, I think it made them check themselves. Even if their automatic, like no matter what their automatic answer was, they thought about their answer before answering.
Yeah.
And I think it would have been different if boys were around boys. Also, we had a range where, some were older and some were younger.
Some were gay, some were straight.
Yeah, which one guy said, his first initial thought would be, like, okay. And then it was like, all right, well, once we start talking, I understand that it's more than that and it's past that. So, I mean, I don't care what a man say. I think that's something my mother taught me or my grandma. Like, I can't even wear anklets in my damn house. So, because it just means I'm a hoe off rip, okay? My grandma don't play about that. Even with nail polish, I'm like, sis, it's 2024, relax.
Yeah, but it goes back with their history and what they've seen men do or just men or people in general.
Jewelry is like crazy. So I personally, like, it was nice to kind of have that moment of, taking that information in, but I still stand on that, even though I am the riskiest dress taker here.
That's what is so confusing.
I will have my nipple out
safe with
any day
and will wear whatever.
But I'm not. I was gonna say I'm not looking for a man, but I am.
But I think that kind of ties into
on this podcast.
The purpose of that activity was Yasmine allowed us at the table to open our eyes and be like, okay, maybe men aren't thinking that. Maybe we are jumping the gun. Maybe we're assuming these things, which it did open my eyes.
We are, though, because history has shown us time and time again that men are this way. And I'm trying to help my brothers break that narrative. You know what I'm saying? They're really not all men.
Not a hashtag, not all men.
100%.
We're not generalizing.
And also, you could be hijab down. They still don't want to. What are you talking about? It don't matter what you got on.
But that's a generalization. That's an assumption. Because you just thinking that they just
hijab down for me.
They do not care. They really. I don't think they care as much as we do.
We do.
We think they do because we going through a lot.
It's a process. It takes two to kind of create that energy. I don't think that the energy is just presented. Like if I had something more revealing, like my cleavage
like
out,
yeah,
went on a date, and I'm like, I have no idea why he thinks he can just like have sex with me.
Why he's looking at my breast.
Like why he keeps looking like I will be a fool because I presented something for you to look at. That's all I'm saying. That's literally all I'm saying is that when you wear things, just be cautious of just be aware of that you're going to get reactions, whether that's good or bad.
100%.
Look good, though.
Wear the fit.
Give them something to talk about.
Turn some heads. I mean, I love turning heads.
Oh, hello.
I really do. I mean, it's crazy that I bring this up because I'm the one to be like, okay, I get it. My nipples are showing, but everyone has nipples at the bar. I'm like, are you just going to stare all day? Come on. You have them, I have them. Okay, we've done that. Cool.
That's funny.
But y'all don't forget to follow us on Spotify. Patreon, YouTube, Instagram, all the goodies, all the handles at Don't Cancel Us Cast.
Oh, cast.
All right.
Wow.
All right. Before we leave, I do want to ask, what are you guys cancelable for today?
I feel like in the dating realm, there's like a lot. For
Are you single? Oh, I'm sorry. Next episode. Are you dating?
Why that's so hard for me to answer?
Yeah, we need to unpack that a little bit.
I think it's because no one understands what dating means these days.
Yeah.
Like, even earlier I said I'm openly dating, and I was like, does that mean I'm in open relationships? I have no idea what I'm saying. I'm just like, I like meeting people. I think I'm just going to end it there.
Oh my God. Don't cancel me. I haven't been on a date in probably like 2 years.
But she's actively looking, guys.
Active.
Look at me.
Look at her.
Running as fast as I can.
Ooh, I don't have one just yet, Rachel.
Don't cancel me, but it seems I travel to make connections with men. It seems.
To who?
I've been told that, and now I'm having to think about it.
Seems.
It seems.
What are you talking about?
It seems. I've been told that. I'm still trying to think it through and see if this is something I really be doing. I don't think I do.
I mean, I have 3 examples in my head.
Okay.
It's the
3 different locations.
Okay.
Don't you?
Who, me?
I'm talking to
Girl.
Don't you?
Of her?
3 examples. Yeah.
Yes.
You're right. 3 different cities, right? Yeah.
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 It happened.
Yeah.
Our investor in the room also. Yeah.
We just got word from our producer. Hello. Yeah, it's 3. It's 3.
The number's 3. The number's 3. 3. Take them down. Take them down. Yeah. So,
Okay. Stand on business.
and that's mine.
All right. Don't cancel me. I think I mentioned this to you guys before, but my husband and I have been together since high school. So I have not been on, like, I don't even know what the dating world looks like.
Never
I don't.
have.
Ashy.
I was dating before there was like apps out there. I
Craigslist
I
was
don't
out,
even
though.
know. Sometimes, okay, well, don't cancel me, but sometimes I am curious.
Okay. Don't be too curious now.
Right. I'm married with children. Okay.
You want to struggle a little bit? Is that what it is? What kind of curiosity?
No,
Oh my
mean,
God!
like-
Remember that show?
like-
Did y'all watch Run the World? And she wanted to struggle a little bit.
No.
What are you curious about?
My curiosity is more so like, would I be like my friend? Sorry, no shade to you.
Yes.
What?
Let's end the episode there. We're gonna end it there. We're gonna end it there.
Would you be single still? Is that what it is?
You would be right here with
I
us.
think it'd be very similar. Okay, we can end the episode because we're going over time, and you have to stay tuned for season 3, obviously.
Clearly. Ciao, ciao.
Thanks for
we love you for
watching.
listening and watching.